Good evening, crypto fam. This is a crypto market recap for Monday, April 7th. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like a lot of names are trying to put in a bottom, or at least a temporary bottom at this time. Bitcoin dominates, seeing pretty big volume here. A big upper wick on the day, looking for that lower high than 64.34%. And we're right knocking at it right now. So we'll see if alts start to see some money flow into them, and that's kind of what we're going to be looking at for the next couple days. So Bitcoin, big outside candle and kind of an indecision candle at this point. So massive upper wick on that fake Trump news that he was delaying tariffs. Didn't end up happening. What matters is keeping this hourly uptrend and hopefully making enough room that we will see a 4-hour higher low at this point. So we're looking for a 4-hour lower high than 83,000 now. I'm not going to count this upper or this wick. I'm more interested to see what happens at this 83,700 level. And do we see a lower high than that and set up an inverse head and shoulders? We could easily just plow right through it, but that's what I'm looking at this point. That is the resistance to be watching for, and also 84,007. So 83,700, 84,700. That range as a potential resistance zone. We can easily fall down before, but we've bounced high enough that we've negated any bear flag, and we've got the 8 and 12 moving averages underneath us, so that looks good. Ethereum, just straight 4-hour bounce so far. We need to keep this hourly uptrend alive and get above this, ideally get above that upper wick there. But this is just a bounce so far. We're looking for a 4-hour lower high than 1,815. This zone, essentially. We'll see if that comes into play. Yeah, the low 1800s essentially is the zone. But we've bounced enough that we've negated a bear flag, and we should see a higher low on the way back down. XRP. Looking to, we started 4-hour consolidation. Looks like it was trying to put in a quick higher low, and that could be changing our 4-hour trend. Looks like we're just in an hourly kind of equilibrium at this point. So kind of, we'll see what the break of that is. But yeah, big lower wick on the day, flushed all these supports out, and then closed back above or back at the support level. So if we can get above this the high of today, and that basically is a fake out for the bears, and I would be looking bullish at this point, and then we would just, if we can get above this, then we're just looking at a daily lower high possibly than 217.53, and then possibly set up an inverse head and shoulders at this point. But yeah, we need to get above the high of today is the main thing, and keeping our start the 4-hour uptrend. Litecoin, same thing. Put in a big lower wick now. Lots of volume too. Break the high of today. We're right at it right now in after hours. So that would and that would be putting in a quick higher low. To change our 4-hour trend essentially. So we consolidated really quickly, and if we shoot up and get above this 72.84 level, then we would change our 4-hour trend and then have the 8 and 12 moving averages below us. So that's good. But yeah, then we're just looking for a daily lower high than 85. So we got work to do as far as bulls, and we have the 8 and 12 daily moving averages to looking up at us. Hype's already started its daily bounce. We're looking for a daily lower high. Yeah, this is just all straight lower highs. And now, we're bouncing on the daily. Now we're looking for a lower high than 1435. We have bounced enough that we should see a higher low on the way down. Now this is the important level to hold. And we'll see if we can set up an inverse head and shoulders on this daily. BNB looking like it's trying to break that the high of today. And same thing. That would be changing the 4-hour trend. That would be a great sign for trying to put in that weekly higher low. And we have an weekly equilibrium still at this point. Trying to save that. Solana, lower wick, looking like we're trying to put in its low, and then we would just be looking for a daily lower high than 123.96. So a lot more resistances on Solana. Like this is a lot of trading you'd have to get through, a lot of resistances. It's going to be a big uphill battle for Solana at this point. I know it's a lot of people's favorites, but it's definitely going to be an uphill battle at this point. Losing that, being that far down from its highs. Like, okay, let's compare this. We got down 67%. What do we do on Bitcoin? 32% on Bitcoin, which is still quite a bit. Let's see what we did on Ethereum. 52%. That was actually quite a bit. Wow. But BNB, $34.5%. So a bit better on that. BNB is definitely one of the stronger names. It's keeping this weekly equilibrium alive, and not many can say that. Not many have done that. Where was that? Ondo. Ondo is trying to put in its bottom, broke the support, and no follow through at this time, but need to get above the high of today, and then we're looking for a daily lower high than here. Link. Looks like we're trying to put in a bottom, same thing, just looking for a lower high than right here. Lots of room for a lower high, so lots of resistances along the way. But we'll see if we can get this daily bounce going, change the 4-hour trend. Sui, same thing. Looking for hopefully break the high of today. Then we're looking for a lower high than 254 and see if we can make enough room for an inverse head and shoulders. XLM, same thing, broke support, no follow through, closed above, and we're trying to get back, start a daily bounce here, but then we're just looking for a lower high on the way back up. Same thing with Cardano. We need to break the high of today, and then we're just looking for a daily lower high, then 67 cents, 67.1 cents on the way back up. Dogecoin, right up at the high. If we can break that, then we're just looking for a daily lower high, then 1730. See if we can change the trend here. Hbar, right up at the resistance. Then if we break that, we're just looking for a lower high than 6.1681 and see if we can change the trend. That we've bounced enough now that it's made it more possible that we can change trends, but we can easily just keep setting lower highs and then fading these moves very easily, very easily. I mean, that's what's happened on these whole moves the whole time anyway. So Mochi, right up at the high of today right now. If we can break that, we're just looking for a lower high than right here. But we've made enough room that we should see a higher low on the way back down. Alpha, I'm not going over Alpha. Kaspa, broke support here with no follow through. Big upper wick here. Looks like it tried to make a run here. We're just looking for a daily lower high than. Actually, did we? Yeah, we broke that resistance. 0.069 is our next resistance, but we've technically broken daily resistance at this point by breaking that previous resistance right here. So potentially we could set up like when you break support, actually we'll break, that's breaking support with no follow through, so that's also a caution. So need to keep our 4-hour uptrend. This is just a straight shot so far. We need to, when this tops out, we need to set a higher low and continue our trend. AVAX right at the high today. Looks like we're trying to break it. If we do, we're looking for a lower high than 1995, and now we've got our low. So lots of fake outs. We're kind of setting up. Another thing I got to point out is that we are setting up a lot of falling wedges. So it's possible that we could just end up trading in this kind of pattern here for a while as well. So that is what we're looking at, just seeing lower lows without follow through. When you see that, then you start drawing trend lines and see if that is the pattern that we're in. So we set the lower high here, and this kind of, I mean, there's a lot of touches on this upper line here, so it's, yeah, this pattern has a lot of validity to it. Ton, just looking for its weekly higher low at this point. We need to break the high of today. A lot of big volume candles, so we've made too much room that we would expect a lower high now on the way back up, and we've got this trend line kind of that I was looking at as well. But yeah, we've made too much room now that I would be expecting a lower high, and even if we do break above this high, we could still just be setting up a bear flag. So need to make some room on these charts. Trump, kind of a doji candle, possible trying to put in a bottom. Need to break the high of today, and then we're just looking for a lower high than 9636, and those are our levels we're playing off now. Okay, so yeah, trying to put in lows in most names. We need to keep 4-hour uptrends or start 4-hour uptrends. So if your name hasn't started 4-hour consolidation yet, and it's just technically in a bounce, it's just bouncing. We need to change trends. If that doesn't happen, then you're just in a bounce, and you could expect a lower high, and then the moves could just get faded into lower lows. As far as the stock market went, it's trying to put in a bottom too. It was a huge range day, and we're very susceptible to tariff news, and doesn't seem like the crypto sector is as affected by it, but still nonetheless it is going to follow the market to some degree. But yeah, tariff news, it's going to come to a possible head here on Tuesday or Wednesday when we hear what the Chinese are going to do. That's the important thing. Essentially, it looks like most countries are trying to play ball and negotiate, but it looks like China might be digging in its heels, and possibly the European Union too. So we are at headline risk, and we are at a point where the Fed might start stepping into in a policy way as well. So there's also that. If we get more beat up as far as the stock market goes, which could help, they're going to focus on the stock market essentially at that point. Okay, so I will tune in tomorrow, and I will do another recap, and definitely recaps all this week because it's an important week. This is how we close this week is going to be very telling to. We want to see if we put in a weekly bottom here, and then when we do put in a weekly bottom, we want to see where does the weekly lower high come. So that's what everyone's wondering. Is this going to be a bottom, or do we see more downside? Okay, take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.